Okay, so now let's talk about compound statements. So let's talk about the definition of compound. Compound means many parts coming together. And here are important symbols you need to know about. The first symbol is the not/negation of symbol, which is a little squiggly line. That symbol, I actually normally just replace it with the word not inside my head, and it works all the time. The next symbol is the and symbol, which is kind of like an A, but without the bar in the middle, and starts with the letter A, so that's helpful to use to remember and. And then the or symbol is the V symbol. Now let's look at this in more depth. So let's say I want to look at the negation of P. P being a statement variable, meaning P could be replaced with a statement. So the negation of P is the squiggly line and then P. The conjunction of P and Q is P and Q with the and symbol, which is the A without the bar. And then the disjunction of P and Q is P or Q, so the V symbol. Now let's look at the formal definition of negation. Again, if P is a statement variable, meaning it could be replaced with any statement, then the negation of P is not P, or it is not the case that P. And it's denoted by the squiggly line and then P. Now the opposite truth value of P is the following. So if P is true, then the negation of P is false. And if P is false, then the negation of P is true. Now let's talk about the order of operations. So similar to please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses comes first. So you look at whatever's in parentheses first and assess that first. After that is the negation symbol. So you look at that second, and then the and the or symbol will come third. And if there's multiple of those, then you would just look at whatever comes first from left to right. Let's talk about but and neither now. So P but Q is the same thing as saying P and Q. So you can just replace the word but and it's synonymous. And then neither P nor Q is the same thing as saying the negation of P and the negation of Q. Okay, so now let's look at some examples. So suppose we want to write each of the following sentences symbolically using the letter H to represent the sun is hot and the letter S to represent the sky is sunny. Let's say we want to write this sentence with the symbols. The sun is not hot, but the sky is sunny. We would then write the negation of H and S, because the negation of H is the sun is not hot, and S is the sky is sunny, and we combine those together with an and symbol because but and are synonymous. The next sentence we want to write symbolically is the sun is neither hot nor is the sky sunny. So we would write the negation of H and the negation of S because that's how the structure of neither nor works. And yeah, that fits perfectly with the symbols and its meaning that we put with it. So yeah. All right, so let's talk about inequalities now. So inequalities do involve and also or statements. For example, x is less than or equal to a means x is less than a or x is equal to a. And then the inequality that says a is less than or equal to x and x is less than or equal to b is the same thing as saying a is less than or equal to x and x is less than or equal to b. Okay, so let's do this problem. It says write the statements in symbolic form using the symbols, the negation symbol, or, and the indicated letters to represent component statements. So 6 says, let S equal stocks are increasing and I equals interest rates are steady. So A says, hold on, let me keep this so that you can see that. So A says stocks are increasing, but interest rates are steady. So we know that S equals stocks are increasing. And I equals interest rates are steady. So stocks are increasing, is this guy right here. And that's the same thing as S, so we're going to call this S. And we know that but is the same thing as and, so we're going to do an and symbol. And the interest rates are steady is the same thing as I, so this right here is I. So for A, the answer is S and I. Let's look at B. B says neither are stocks increasing nor are interest rates steady. So neither and nor is like saying not this and not that. So stocks are not increasing and interest rates are not steady. So let's write that out. So neither are stocks increasing nor are interest rates steady. It's the same thing as saying stocks are not increasing and interest rates are not steady. So we know that this right here, stocks are not increasing, is the opposite of S. So this is negation of S. And the and symbol. And then this right here, interest rates are not steady, is the same thing as the negation of I. So this is I. So the answer to B is not S and, oop, forgot the not right here. Not S and not I. Okay, now let's do the next question. Now we have to do the same thing with number 8 like we did for the previous question. Now it says, let H equals John is healthy, W equals John is wealthy, and S equals John is wise. So A says John is healthy and wealthy, but not wise. So let's see. So John is healthy is H. Okay, that's the same thing as this. So that's H. And wealthy. Okay, so and wealthy, that's W. John is wealthy, but not wise. So John is wise is equal to S, and the opposite of S is John is not wise. So we know that but is the same thing as and, so we could just say and symbol, and then the opposite of S, which is the negation of S, like that. Now you can't put parentheses if you really wanted to. When I read the sentence, it makes me feel like, oh, John is healthy and wealthy, that's one group, but he's not wise. So maybe we could put a parentheses right here, but like I said, the order of operations says that if it's just a bunch of and symbols, then you do whatever from left to right, and so the parentheses isn't necessary. It doesn't hurt either if you put them in there, as long as you're doing it for the correct reason. Okay, so we're not going to do B. Let's do D. So D says John is neither wealthy nor wise, but is healthy. But he is healthy. So neither nor means John is not wealthy and John is not wise. So it's the opposite of W, so the negation of W, and he is not wise, which is the negation of S. But he is healthy. So but is the same thing as and, so an H. And I'm going to do the same thing I did for A. Just put the parentheses there because when I read the sentence, I think of neither and nor as one group, and then the but is like its own thing, which is why I put it without the parentheses out here. Okay, now let's do number 10. Number 10 says, let P be the statement data and flag is off, Q the statement error equals 0, and R the statement sum is less than 1000. Express the following the following sentences in symbolic notation. Okay, so this one is a little bit more work. So, okay, so let's do A. Data and flag is off. Okay, that's the same thing as P, because P says data and flag is off. Okay, so that's P. Comma, error equals 0. Okay, which is the same thing as Q. And then, and sum is less than 1000. Sum is less than 1000. So even though it doesn't explicitly says and where these two commas are, this is essentially the same thing as saying data and flag is off and error equals 0 and sum is less than 1000. So we would just do P and Q and R. Okay, let's do B now. Data and flag is off, but error is not equal to 0. Okay, so data and flag is off. That is the same thing as P. But is the same thing as and, so we're just going to write and. Error is not equal to 0. Q says error is equal to 0. So error is not equal to 0 is the opposite of Q, so the negation of Q. There's that. Okay, cool. Let's do the next one now. C. Data and flag is off. That's the same thing as P. However, error is not 0 or sum is greater than or equal to 1000. Okay, so error is not 0 is the opposite of Q, which says error is equal to 0. So we know that is a negation of Q. I'm going to leave the space right here blank for now so we could return to that, because the word however, we never really talked about it, so I'm going to just leave it blank for now. I'll come back. So error is not 0, okay, not Q, or symbol, or sum is greater than or equal to 1000. R says sum is less than 1000, and the opposite of a less than is greater than or equal to. So what will go after the or symbol is the negation of R. When we see the word however, it's kind of like saying but, right? Like when you speak English, you say, I really like this cat, but, or you could also say, I really like this cat. However, it's the same thing. So however is saying and as well. So you would just say and like that. And maybe put parentheses around these symbols. Okay, so let's do D now. Data and flag is on and error equals 0, but sum is greater than or equal to 1000. So if data and flag is on, is the opposite of data and flag is off. So this is the negation of P. And then okay, and error equals 0. Okay, that's the same thing as Q. Error equals 0, so and Q. But sum is greater than or equal to 1000. Greater than or equal to is the opposite of less than. So we know that the sum is greater than or equal to 1000 is the opposite of the sum is less than 1000, so it's the negation of R. And remember that but is the same thing as and, so we would say and negation of R. Okay, now let's look at the last one. Either data and flag is on, or it is the case that both error equals 0 and sum is less than 1000. So either data flag is on, okay, so data flag is on is the opposite of P, which says data and flag is off. So negation of that. So either this, or the or symbol, or it is the case that both error equals 0 and sum is less than 1000. So it's either this guy, or I'm going to put parentheses around here because we're saying either this guy or this guy over here. So either this or both error equals 0. So error equals 0 is the same thing as Q. And the sum is less than 1000. So sum is less than 1000 is R. And there you have it.